Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's video. Just wanted to share, as the first day of school is coming up, I had 12 first days of school, and y'all, I loved the first week of school. I know a lot of teachers dread it. It's kind of this weird, like, you're not really fully teaching the curriculum yet. You don't know your students' names yet. Everyone's kind of getting accustomed to everyone, but I loved the first week of school. And so I want to go through a series of videos on each day, but today I want to talk about the first day of school. What do you do? What's it look like? Now, likely you've already got a plan for what you're going to do with your students. What I'm talking about is before that. One of my favorite things was greeting those students at the door on day one, welcoming them, making sure they know they're in the right place and that they are in a welcoming, positive classroom environment with me, because they're always kind of anxious about who's my teacher, what's this going to be like. So here's what I do. What a lot of teachers do is they just let all the students in, they kind of have their assigned seating, and then they go through attendance and butcher everybody's name and embarrass a bunch of people on the first day and embarrass themselves. What I did, and I love doing this, was I would hold everyone at the door. So I'd be standing at the door. I would kind of have it like mostly closed with my foot kind of keeping it open because it would be locked, so that way it wouldn't lock everybody out, but it was mostly closed. And I would have either a clipboard, and over the years, sometimes I used a mini clipboard, regular size, or even oversized, so I could take notes underneath the actual sheet of paper I was using. And I would have a list of every student's name that was supposed to be in my class. And if you teach in a public school, likely there's students that were not on that list from when you printed it earlier that day or the day before that are now on there. And so you're going to leave some extra blanks to write those names in as those students come. If you teach at a private school or anywhere where kind of enrollment is capped, students can't just show up the day of, likely you won't have new students on that list. But I like to leave those extra blanks for students on that list, stop everybody at the door, and so there's going to be a long line outside your door, and that's okay. I actually enjoyed that. So like, oh, let me in, and I'm like, I stop every student, give them a handshake. Hey, I'm Mr. Johnson. Great to meet you. I'm excited to be your teacher. How was your summer? Blah, blah, blah. And make sure I say their name several times before they walk in the door. So I'm like, hey, what's your last name? Just so I can see it on the list. And then I'll either have them say their first name. Sometimes they'll just volunteer it. Or I'll try and say it and say, hey, did I say it right? Did I pronounce this correctly? And in this quick conversation, how was your summer? Are you excited about this class? What are you involved in? Any clubs, sports, activities? What do you want to be involved in? Maybe take some notes right there on that clipboard sheet. That way, next day as they come in, I can follow up with them on that item, and I've already got some information about that student that surely you'll forget over the hundreds of students you meet throughout the day. And so I got through that first student. I said, all right, come on in, take a seat. If you have assigned seating, let them know where to go. If not, they can go to any open seat. A lot of teachers like the assigned seats on the first day. I tend to prefer not, because then you can already see who's gravitating towards each other as you get ready to make assigned seating, if that's what you do. Next student, same thing. What's your last name? Try to say their name, confirm that you're saying it right. Say it 2, 3, 4 times throughout that conversation so you are getting accustomed to that student's name. Taking any notes on anything they're involved in or they want to be involved in right there on that sheet so you remember it, and then welcoming them in and just repeating that for every student. So you've already said each student's name 3, 4, 5 times before they get in the door. You've learned to pronounce their name correctly before you ever say it in front of the whole entire classroom, and by the time they get in, it's already like 15 minutes into class by the time everybody's in. You should already have something on the board or on the projector, a game or something that they can do so they're not just sitting there. But that's how I get all of those students in on the first day. I'll talk a little bit more about day 2 and further throughout the week activities. But I really believe stopping those students at the door, having a clipboard with all of your students' names. If you have several class periods, at one point I was teaching 7, instead of a clipboard, I had a binder. And then I would have each class period that I could just flip through instead of having to replace on the clipboard each class period. And then I would even sometimes hang it from my neck so my hands were free. So there's a lot of creative things you can do, but again, the key piece for me is saying that student's name several times, making sure you pronounce it right before they walk in the door and before you say it in front of everybody. You're setting yourself up for lots of success. So best wishes to you on the first day.